quite a sight, isn't it? For months, betting platforms just sort of hum along, pretty steady, then bang, something like the World Cup, the Euros, maybe the Olympics hits, and it's like a switch just flips. Completely different ballgame.
Right. Total transformation.
Yeah, people who barely glass at sports normally. Suddenly they're glued to the screen. They're totally obsessed with their national team. So let's unpack this a bit.
Yeah.
Why? Why do these big national team events cause such absolute chaos in the betting markets?
That's exactly what we're aiming to do in this deep dive. We're going to explore those powerful underlying drivers behind these betting frenzies. We'll be drawing insights directly from the sources you've shared with us.
Yeah.
It's really about understanding the deep human stuff that fuels these huge financial surges.
Right, the human element. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. When it's your country playing, there's this connection. It feels personal. It's emotional. You can almost feel it in the air. It's like you're suddenly part of something much, much bigger. And that feeling, well, it's incredibly powerful, even if you've never, ever placed a bet before in your life.
That intense emotion, that's definitely the main fuel. It's the primary driver for the betting volume we see during these tournaments, no question.
Okay, so emotion is key.
Absolutely. Just look at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, for example. Betting platforms everywhere reported these record-breaking spikes in activity, just massive increases.
How big are we talking?
Well, some saw increases of over 300% in a single week.
Wow, 300%.
It wasn't just a little bump. It was, like you said, an explosion of engagement.
That's astonishing. So, okay, people are feeling this intense national pride, this connection. How does that actually translate into how they bet? Are these carefully considered strategic bets, or is it something else entirely? What do the sources say about that?
Well, this is what's really fascinating, what the sources revealed. Most of those bets, they weren't strategic. Not really. They were overwhelmingly heart first, data second.
Heart first, data second. I like that.
Yeah, driven completely by loyalty, by that emotion, rather than, cold logic or any kind of betting strategy.
That's a credit. So it's not about the stats or the form guide. It's just pure passion overriding reason.
Pretty much.
Is there a term for this, among insiders? This phenomenon where loyalty just trumps logic?
Yes, there is. Insiders call it patriotic bias.
Patriotic bias. Okay.
Exactly. It's that tendency for bettors to place wagers based purely on hope and, national pride, often completely ignoring objective performance, statistics, rankings, all of that.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine your national team is ranked, say, 26th in the world, and they're playing against a real powerhouse, top 3 maybe. Logically, the odds are stacked against them, heavily.
Right.
But despite those odds, you'll still see huge numbers of people in that country backing their team. Blindly, almost. That's patriotic bias right there in action.
Wow, that really paints a picture. And, okay, knowing this bias exists, how do the sportsbooks react? How do they leverage it?
Oh, they definitely leverage it.
They must anticipate these surges, right? Months in advance.
Absolutely. They know it's coming. They see the schedules. They prepare. And they lean right into that emotional side. It's why you see them pumping out all those special promotions.
Like what?
Themed parlays centered around the national team, boosted odds on your country winning, that kind of thing.
Okay. Tailor offers.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how effectively these strategies work. They tap directly into that human emotion. They know these patriotic bettors tend to be, less analytical, more emotionally driven.
So they're basically setting the stage. They know the audience changes during these tournaments.
Precisely. They're facilitating that emotional surge. And frankly, it pays off for them. The house often wins when hearts rule heads.
Right. So it's not just predicting the amount of betting, but understanding the mindset of the bettors during these specific times. And it seems like the story around the team matters too, not just whether they win or lose.
You're absolutely spot on there. The sources really highlight this. Betting surges aren't only tied to the final score, even the drama around the team.
Drama? Like what?
Things like unexpected injuries to star players, maybe some internal scandals, rumors, or even those amazing surprise underdog wins.
Okay.
All of that can significantly boost betting volumes. It's quite interesting. Sometimes the rumors and the narrative create more action than the actual match itself.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. People get invested in the story, the soap opera of it all.
Exactly. It's human nature. We love a good narrative, not just dry statistics.
Okay, and speaking of stories,
yeah,
what happens when a national team actually does win? Especially if it's unexpected. Is there like a knock-on effect?
Oh, absolutely there is. A big one. When a national team wins, particularly if it's a surprise victory, it creates what the sources call a euphoria loop.
Euphoria loop.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect. People start betting more, maybe celebrating the win with another bet. They place bigger stakes. They're sort of chasing the high of that initial amazing win.
Right, trying to keep that feeling going.
Exactly. One big success can really fuel the desire to replicate that feeling with more and more wagers. It feeds on itself.
Okay, so that's the upside. What about the flip side? What happens when that same team loses? Does that euphoria just evaporate?
Poof. Gone. Very quickly, usually. That's the other side of the emotional coin. When that team loses, especially if they crash out of a tournament, a huge chunk of those casual bettors, the ones who jumped in during the euphoria,
Yeah.
they just vanish. Betting volume plummets. The markets cool right down.
Wow.
And that whole emotional buzz just fades away until the next big tournament rolls around anyway. The energy dissipates almost as fast as it appeared.
So it's really clear then, when national teams play, it's about so much more than just the sport itself. It taps into something deeper, doesn't it? Identity, belonging, being part of something bigger than yourself, that shared experience.
Definitely.
And that collective feeling, that pride, that emotional investment. Well, that's basically rocket fuel for the betting industry during these times.
It really is.
Yeah.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding these dynamics, it helps you apply knowledge effectively. Whether you're, looking at market trends, analyzing crowd psychology, or just trying to understand human decision-making when strong emotions are involved.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful example of how deeply our feelings can drive economic activity, sometimes against pure logic.
Absolutely. A fascinating intersection of psychology and economics. So here's a final thought for you, the listener. Next time you see your country lining up for a massive match, maybe the final, maybe just a crucial qualifier, and you find your finger hovering over that place bet button on your phone, just take a second. Ask yourself, am I betting with my brain or am I betting with my flag?